Today we're going to be looking at how do we graph linear equations in slope-intercept and standard form. Well, we'll start with slope-intercept form. What is it? Slope-intercept form looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. And the reason that it's called slope-intercept form is because m is our slope and b is a y-intercept. All right, well, let's just jump into it with an example. We're going to do y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 1. My first step is going to be to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope is always attached to the x. So my slope here is negative 3 over 2. And the y-intercept, b, is always the constant. It has no variable. If there is no b, then b would be 0. But here we have b as 1. Now my next step is going to be to plot the y-intercept. So at 1 on the y-axis, since this is my y-intercept, I'm going to put a point right here on the y-axis at 1. Now I'm going to use the slope to find another point on this grid here. So the slope was negative 3 over 2, so I know it's going to fall down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then run 2, 1, 2. Now that I have 2 points, I can draw a line through them. I would also like to point out that this slope of negative 3 over 2 is the same thing as 3 over negative 2. So we could have gone up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then backwards 2 to find this other point. All right, now you can try. Just pause the video and try to graph y equals 3x minus 4. A helpful hint here might be that 3 is actually the same thing as just 3 divided by 1. So go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll come back together in a moment. All right, and what we should end up with is a line that went through the y-axis at negative 4, then had a slope of positive 3 over 1, so this is going to rise up 3 and over 1. All right, now we're going to look at graphing from standard form, and this is the standard form of a linear equation. Standard form of a linear equation is ax plus by is equal to c, some constant. So notice in this form we have x and y on the same side of the equation, and here a cannot equal 0 and b cannot equal 0. Okay, or else the x and y would just go away and we wouldn't have a linear anymore. So why do we use this? We use this form to find x and y intercepts. But how do we find those x and y intercepts? Well, to figure that out, we actually have to investigate just the x and y axis. So a y-intercept, just like we just saw in the slope-intercept form, is anywhere on this y-axis. Well, on this y-axis, what does x equal? Since we haven't gone any to the right or any to the left, on the y-axis, x equals 0. So to find a y-intercept, we just set x equal to 0. And so by the same thinking, to find this x-intercept, well, y equals 0 on the x-axis, so I can just set y equal to 0 and solve to find the x-intercept. So let's look at an example of that. Here we have an equation in standard form. The x and y are on the same side of the equation with just a number on the other side, a constant. So to do this, we're going to find our x-intercept, then the y-intercept, and plot those 2 points. Let's start by finding the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. So 5x plus 2 times 0 equals 10. Anytime that you just set the x or the y equal to 0 in standard form, it just eliminates it. So here we have 5x is equal to 10, divide by 5, and x equals 2 is an x-intercept. So this x-intercept is going to be at the point 2, 0. All right, we do the same thing for the y-intercept. This time we're going to set x equal to 0, so 5 times 0, which just knocks it out, plus 2y is equal to 10. So if 2y is equal to 10, y must be equal to 5. And this is a y-intercept, so it's on the y-axis, so this is at the point 0, 5. Now to make my graph, I'm going to plot those 2 points. My x-intercept is at the point 2, 0. The y-intercept is at the point 0, 5. And I'm just going to draw a line through the 2 points. And now I've graphed 5x plus 2y equals 10. All right, here we are again with another problem that you can try. We have 3x plus 4y equals 12. So find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept, plot them, and then unpause the video. All right, so after setting y equal to 0, I found an x-intercept at 4, 0, and I found a y-intercept at 0, negative 3 by setting x equal to 0. I plotted those 2 points and drew the line connecting them. All right, let's take a moment to talk about horizontal and vertical lines. Horizontal lines are always going to be of the form y equals some number. Okay, and horizontal lines are flat. So on a graph, that would look, like this. And here's how we can think about it. Imagine that this is 1, 2, 3. This is a graph of y equals 2, because for every single x, y is always 2. The slope of a horizontal line is 0. Okay, and this is a function. Now vertical lines are always of the form x equals some number. And vertical lines go up and down. So if I had a graph, let's say 1, 2, 3, and I drew a vertical line, as you can tell, for every single y, x is always 3. Okay, the slope of these lines are undefined. So these are not functions. A lot of times we're given equations and they're not in slope, intercept, or standard form, so we need to figure out how we can change them to those forms. So let's look at this example. If we had 4 equals 2 minus x plus y, I want to write this in slope, intercept form and in standard form. We'll start with slope, intercept form, where my goal is to solve for y. So if I have 4 equals 2 minus x plus y, the y is already positive, so I'm going to leave this y on this side. I need to get rid of this 2 and this negative x, so I'm going to subtract 2 from each side. So 2 equals negative x plus y. And then to move a negative x, I have to add x to both sides. So that would give me 2 plus x equals y. And to really just write it nicely, this would be y equals x plus 2. So here we have an equation with a slope of 1, because there's nothing in front of the x except for it's being multiplied by 1, and a y-intercept of 2. All right, in standard form, our goal is to get x and y on the same side and just a constant on the other. So we have 4 equals 2 minus x plus y. Now here, we already have x and y on the same side of the equation, so we're going to start by subtracting 2 from each side to get 2 is equal to negative x plus y. And Typically, whenever you have something in standard form, you don't want that leading coefficient on the x to be negative. So we're going to change the sign of everything by multiplying everything by -1. So this would be -2 is equal to x minus y. And just to make it look nice and clean, we'll just swap sides. X minus y is equal to -2. And now we've changed it into standard form. And that's going to be all for this lesson.